Yeah, 40-mile-an-hour winds.
I don't know. They had a storm that come in here and just blowed all this down, and it was just tangled around every which way. And that was about 2 weeks ago, and it's all stood back up and everything. And
how big was the corn about that? Chest high?
Oh no, it was over. It was about like this to me.
Okay.
You know, and it was blowed all out here and everything, and these stalks just stood right back up and all, and it was laying out just every which way. And the only real damage that I see, it went right down the strong enough that it broke some of that off.
Okay.
You know.
That was a severe wind.
Right.
Yeah.
And it even broke limbs off the trees and everything, and laid the corn down. So, and my cousin owns this and all. He said I done chalked it off because all down in yonder it just laid it down flat. And he told me, he said he'd walked around and looked, and he said, you know, he said, I can't believe all this corn stood back up and not crooked. And how it stood back up, it really is. And
now I'm going to walk out in here in a little bit, but what you're seeing on the stalk is you're not seeing that traditional goosenecking where it's laid over and then it stays bowed and it comes back up. You're actually seeing that stalk
stand straight back up. Yeah. You know, because I seen it on the edge of the field here when it done it.
Right.
And I was just afraid that it would never stand back up. I knew it would turn up like so. Right. But this has stood right straight back up.
Wow.
And there may be a few stalks that's got the bow in them, but the majority of it stood right straight back up.
That's great. So now this was applied, tell me about this application. It was applied, how tall was it?
Well, it was about this tall.
Okay.
And it was applied at 8 ounces and all. And then he come back and put nitrogen on after that.
Okay.
Roots had done got out like that.
Really?
And it wasn't this tall. In other words, and normally they don't put out till this corn gets on up here about ready to tassel. You know, and we seen these roots coming out, you know, when the corn was just a little taller than that plant right there. It was up about right there. And they done had them all out and done anchored to the ground.